Welcome to Florence, Italy. Chances are if you're coming to Italy, you have this town on your itinerary. But you get here and you're asking yourself, well, now what do I do? I'm going to share with you my top 3 places you must visit on day 1 here in Florence. There are places that shouldn't wear yourself out too much so you have energy for the subsequent days. Or if you're in Florence just for 1 day, then these are the places that you must visit. I'm here outside the train station where chances are you're going to begin your journey. Now let's go. Are you ready for this? Here it is. It's the Cathedral of Florence, the Duomo of Florence, that famous big dome. I don't know if you could see it, it's all overexposed there. There it is right there. This is the place you gotta come see, the #1 place in Florence. It's a must if you're here in town. Now the church itself was first started construction in 1296, and you get a look at the Duomo up there, the big cupola. That didn't start construction until around about 1400s. They had a competition to see who could come up with the best design. Filippo Brunelleschi won with his unique design that didn't require much scaffolding inside, and some other designs were just horrible. Well, they began building that thing in the 1400s, and away we went. Now, why is this place so important? Well, that's one of the most important structures, if not the most important structure of the Renaissance era. This Duomo, it's the heart of the Renaissance. It's the heart and the center of Florence. In a sense, it's the center of Italy, because you remember, Florence was the capital of Italy from 1865 to 1871. For Italy, this is one of those iconic places, like the Colosseum in Rome or like the gondolas in Venice. Not only must you come and see the Duomo, you must climb all the way up to the top. You must, because on your first visit to Florence, it's going to give you that beautiful panorama of the city and a great sense of orientation. Up to the top of the Duomo, up to the top of the adjacent tower as well. Last week I made a video about that, so make sure you go back and watch that video and gather all the information you need to know. The top of the Duomo, well, it's 116 meters. To get to the top, 463 steps. My recommendation is book a ticket and book it early. Get there early to avoid all the crowds. Make sure you're in good shape. If you have a heart problem, don't go, because it's a physical activity to get up to the top. And if you're claustrophobic as well, because those passageways up to the top, all those stairs, they are quite narrow and everybody's just squeezing through. But once you get up, it's an amazing view of the city and definitely worth checking out. Also, if you're a minor under 18, make sure you're accompanied by an adult. Go to the website duomo.firenze.it to book your ticket. It's going to cost you 30 euros, but it's well worth it, because with that pass you get into the top of the Brunelleschi Duomo, you get up to the top of the Giotto Tower, which is right next to it. You also get into this baptistery here, and you get into the museum over there and a lot of other things as well. So spend the money and put it on your to-do list, the #1 thing here in Florence. Okay, let's get on to the #2 spot you got to put on your list. I want to share with you some news. This could be the last vlog on this Canon M6 camera. Hold on one second here, look at this. Can you see it in there? There it is. That's the Canon M6 Mark II with the Sigma lens. It's probably going to be the last time I'm vlogging on this camera. I might have a new camera incoming. If you're liking these videos, if you're getting some value on them, make sure to give them a thumbs up. Also, if you're not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe already. Hit that red subscribe button down below. Well, that's a little dog right there. This is Piazza Repubblica. This is not where we're stopping. We're continuing on. We're heading south through the center of town. The Duomo was up that way, the train station's up that way, and we're going that way. Right past the Apple store. Get my photo. Get my photo with her. There you go. She's in the vlog now. Okay, this should be your second stop of the day. Not this place right here. I'm standing on Ponte Trinita, but that place over there, Ponte Vecchio, that's the old bridge. This is Trinity Bridge, the Ponte Trinita. This is actually one of my favorite bridges in town, designed by Michelangelo, and after it was bombed out during the war, they rebuilt it to the specifications of Michelangelo, exactly the same. That bridge over there is called Ponte Vecchio because it was the first bridge spanning the Arno River, and they built it in the narrowest section of the Arno around about year 1000 in the late 900s. They built Ponte Caraya. That was the second bridge to be built. That was the new bridge at the time, so that became the old bridge. Look at that, even wedding couples come here, they get their photos because this is the spot. So you want to come here to this bridge and get your photos and get the good view of Ponte Vecchio. And from here you can see up there on top, that's the Vasari. Up there on top, that's the Vasari corridor. They built that corridor all over the shops so the Medici family could get from Palazzo Vecchio up to their place, the Palazzo Pitti, back in the day. Now back in the day, before they put in all the jewelers, there were butcher shops down below, so it stunk, and the Medici family wanted to get over the bridge without interacting with the public, so they had that corridor over the top. And what you can also see right up there, there's this panoramic window. Now what they say is that 1938, when Adolf Hitler visited here, Mussolini had this big panoramic window put in so Hitler could get a good view of the Arno River, of Ponte Vecchio, and everything else here in Florence. Now what I would recommend with this stop number 2 to get your photos of the old bridge, Ponte Vecchio, is either have it as your first stop or your second stop, depending on when you have your climb up to the Duomo scheduled. So if you have your climb up to the Duomo scheduled in the early morning, come here your second stop. If it's later on, say 11 a.m., make this place your first stop, then head over to the Duomo. Oh, I want to show you something. Look at this. There's the magic couple right there. Where are you from?
Korea.
Korea, there you go. Best of luck. So you walk down this way, Lungo Arno, this is the river walk, and right over there we're gonna walk over the old bridge. Now it's something you have to do. That's the number 2 thing. Take the photos of the old bridge, get your selfie photos, get your wedding photos, and then walk over that old bridge, and it just takes you back in time. And we're walking back in time over Ponte Vecchio. Look at this place. It's so quiet because cars are not allowed here. This bridge, think about it, it survived multiple floods, the last one being in 1966, and it survived World War II. All the other bridges, they were blown up, but for this one, when the Allied forces were coming into town, the Nazis had all the bridges, all the points, the critical points blown up. Well, the word is that Hitler said, no, I remember this place, you gotta save this bridge. And in fact, they have a plaque to the commander of the Nazis right there, Gerard Wolf. He saved the bridge and he was made an honorary citizen, and Ponte Vecchio is still here today. Think about that. Now they did destroy the buildings on both sides of the bridge and they made the bridge impassable anyway, but it remained and it's still here today as it was originally. Look at that, you get a good view of that corridor, the Vasari corridor, and up there that panoramic window. Now this bridge today is pretty much useless. It's just a tourism hotspot and a place where if you want to come to buy an expensive watch in an expensive location, well, come here because you're flanked by jewelry stores on both sides. It's a beautiful bridge because it's only open to pedestrians. All the other bridges have car traffic over them, and those are the main bridges if you're traveling by automobile here in Florence. But this bridge, well, it's useful if you're a pedestrian, if you're a tourist, to get from the south side of town over to the north side of town, the central, where the Duomo is, where we were earlier today. Joy and Rebecca, like and subscribe?
Like and subscribe.
Everybody's friendly. Enjoy your time in Florence. Now you see this place, well, it may seem insignificant, but it's a grocery store. Now you're gonna wanna stop in there, pick up a bottle of wine, pick up some snacks, maybe a few cans of beer, because you're gonna wanna take them with you and go up to the next spot. Spot number 3 in this day, Piazzale Michelangelo. Because the problem is, after you leave that spot right there, there are not many other spots where you can stop and buy any snacks before you get up to this jewel, the crown jewel of the day, Piazzale Michelangelo. There's starting to be some rush hour traffic. And you know what that means? That means it's around time for sunset. Now, a couple things to keep in mind for this third and final location. Well, save your strength for the end of the day because you're gonna wanna walk up to the top of Piazzale Michelangelo. Look at that, an old Fiat 500, a Cinquecento. These things, you still see them all around Italy and they're beautiful. Bella macchina. The other thing is, if you want to get out of the hustle and bustle of the center and have lunch somewhere else, try exploring this San Nicolo area. This is the little neighborhood right before you go through the Porta here, and it takes you up to the top to Piazzale Michelangelo. A pretty cool place. You get an ice cream, you can get quick aperitivo or an espresso here. There it is. So cool. Now, to get up to the top, there are two different ways. You can go further down the river, further east out of the center, and go up past the big tower in Porta San Nicolo. That's the one underneath the big tower. The other way is past the Rose Garden. Now, if you come here with enough time, you can go in and visit the Rose Garden. You just go up these steps here, and it's to your left. You can pass through the Rose Garden, and I think it's free as well. If you don't have the Rose Garden in mind and you're running a little bit late on time like we are today, see the sun setting over there, you just head straight up the stairs. This big square right here, well, this is Piazzale Michelangelo, designed in 1869 by Giuseppe Pioggi, dedicated to Michelangelo. In fact, you see right there, there's a bronze copy of Michelangelo's famous statue of David. They drug it up here by like 10 oxes in 1873. Pop, right there in the middle. They were gonna create a museum over there. It's this big kind of building place. It never became a museum dedicated to Michelangelo. Instead, Poggi put his name right down there at the base, and there's a nice restaurant in there. None of that matters because what you want to do is you want to get up here. This is the third spot you gotta visit in your day, the third and final when you're here in Florence. Park up on the steps over there, get a good view of the sunset, or do like all these people are doing over here, just lean over the railing, snap some photos, snap some selfies, and watch the sun go down. And in another video, I talked about the best views you can get around the world, and in Florence, at least for the sunset, it's here up at Piazzale Michelangelo. This is the place you want to come. Check out that video if you want more details on Piazzale Michelangelo specifically. But up here, you're gonna get the view. You're gonna get the view of the river, all the bridges crossing the river. You're gonna see Forte Belvedere. It stretches all the way out to Santa Croce. You see the Duomo, you see Ponte Vecchio, and off in the distance, you see the hills and the hillside town of Fiesole. It's one of the best places and merits to be that number 3 spot during your day when you're here in Florence. And got a beer for my man there at the stand. You can buy drinks and food up here if you want, but it's gonna cost a little bit more. Now let me just change this angle because we're looking right into the sunset. Now keep in mind, if you have any questions, just drop some comments down below. Ask me anything you want about what you want to know visiting here in Florence. But these are my top 3 things to do. These are my top 3 things to do when you're here in Florence. Sure, you can deep dive into the Uffizi Museum, and you should do that one time. At all the artwork in there, you're walking back into a Renaissance time capsule. Go see the statue of David, the original statue of David, not this bronze copy, not the marble copy in front of Palazzo Vecchio. Go see the original marble copy of the statue of David. It is mind-blowing. But when you're here for one day only, or on the first day when you're here, the 3 things you gotta knock out, that's it. That's the Duomo. Go see the old bridge, Ponte Vecchio, and get up here and time it just right for sunset on Piazzale Michelangelo.